Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Check this out now in second. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. This is actually a petrol tanker which we had to call because this is the Toyota Innova Petrol manual, which is an absolute gas guzzler of sorts. Every 100 meters you have to go to the fuel station to fill fuel. That is the level of drinking habit this has. Any which ways, this car comes courtesy of Karim to me, who was brave enough to get a Toyota Innova Petrol manual. Let's open the engine bay straight away. There is the petrol engine. It says dual VVTi. There's insulation here and the engine is a bit loud for what is actually a petrol engine. Let's just shut this now. This is not the top spec trim because the top spec trim is not available with the petrol manual. Instead, the automatic is, and so this is a lower trim. I think this happens to be the V or something of that sort. That's why it misses out on certain features, like the grille has this plastic thingy here, and I think the top model has maybe a better grille or maybe better finishing. You get projector setup. LEDs are not there as such. मतलब ज़्यादा है नहीं. You can see probably that is LED, and there's the, okay, forget that, DRL 4 corner में है. Here you go, and the indicator is kind of low, fog light, and that aircraft is actually coming to drop fuel so that I can catch it and put it inside this car. Thank you so much, cargo plane. Anyways, there is the indicator. Now the Innova is a very nice, reliable people mover, but it's a little bit expensive when you compare the kind of features it has, at least this one. First and foremost, it gets 16-inch wheels. Lower trims came with 16-inch, higher trims came with 17-inch. 205, 65, 16 is the size of the tires. You get chrome door handles, you get a shark fin antenna. Why have you been going through all this? So many times I made Innova vlog. Now I'm also kind of bored now. So let's open this. It says 2.7V. 2.7 tells you that this guy is extremely rich, that he can afford petrol, of course, for an MPV like the Innova. And there could be more LEDs. I mean, no LEDs as such. Boot space is fine as such with all the rows up, and then this is a car which has a nice third row of seating as well, and captain seats, because this happens to be the 7-seater. There's an 8-seater as well, and there is a headrest for the middle passenger, which is optional. You can put it. So if a middle passenger comes and he's like, you know what, I have a head, can you please give me a headrest? You just remove it and you're like, here you go, thank you so much. Now power tailgate is something which is missing. You're going to shut this like this, and it's shut, very easy to operate. There's an antenna, high mounted stop lamp, this nice aerodynamic treatment which you also see in Lexus cars. And where will the fingers of truth go? Well, not here, because there's where the towing hook goes. That is a spare wheel which happens to be an alloy, and the exhaust is vibrating. Why are you vibrating? Well, you get rear parking sensors, you get a reverse parking camera, and this car does vibrate quite a bit from here to there, so the vibrations are there in plenty. Let's see the rear seat. Okay, very nice and comfortable seats. I like it, but this is fabric. Armrest in the center, air conditioning on the top, and the controls as well, lights and whatnot. Here I want to turn on the air conditioning, I can do that, and yeah, the air conditioning is a chiller. I told you every 2 minutes this car needs fuel. There, another aircraft is going from somewhere or the other to drop more fuel, because yeah, this car is needing that. And there is a 12-volt charging socket, USBs, and I mean, you also have a freaking tray so that you can sit and eat your food when you're waiting for fuel. Anyways, shut this. How do you do that? There you go. So now let me just go to the front, and door pockets are big enough. In fact, the Innova is so practical now. It can fit in 27 liters of water, liquids, water bottles, whatever. 27 freaking liters. Okay, now I can't take my bestie Greta in this car because she's going to kill me for depleting the resources on Earth. The fuel, of course. Seats are actually nice and comfortable. I really like it. But because lower trim, so it doesn't get a lot of features which are missing. But it still gets an engine start button, a cup holder there, and then cruise control is also present. But no traction control, which is kind of surprising. This thing is fine. Now this is the old model, so it misses out on an auto dimming inside rear view mirror. There's a sunglass holder here, light placement on the top, usual bits, mirror, light, and all that jazz, which you would expect, of course. Instrument cluster is a nice unit, but the regular multi-information display, which has a lot of features. In fact, let's just see what is the fuel efficiency the car is returning right now. So we're just going to browse through this screen right now. Eco indicator. It's saying 6.5 kilometers per liter. Well, Greta Thunberg will be so pissed. Audio system is turned on its own. I guess I pressed some button or so. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's get into reverse. Why is it not shutting? Okay. Anyways, let's get into reverse, and here we are. The reverse parking camera is fine. It gets guidelines, but these are not adaptive. And you know what? When you're sitting in the car, fuel gets over. What do? Well, it's very simple. This car comes with a feature known as a walkie-talkie. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm out of fuel. Can you send me some fuel? Yes, please. 65 liters of petrol. Yeah, high octane preferably, so I can redline the puff out of it. Yeah, this is another very interesting feature in this car. And you have got 2 glove boxes as well, so that you can store more fuel. So the whole thing is that it has these so many bottle holders. It's not really for water. It's actually for fuel. So you can carry your own fuel, and there are a lot of buttons here. This is for parking sensors. This is to open the fuel lid. Again, fuel. We are doing this to open the hood of the car, and a lot of hard plastics somehow everywhere. Okay, there are two buttons which are dummies, but cup holder here, there's storage space here. It's a very practical and nice MPV. But anyways, you guys have come here for what? To see how the petrol engine performs. In fact, check this out, okay? Oh my goodness, you see the way it redlines. In fact, you see the gear lever. Okay, here we go. Red line, and near the red line, it goes absolutely bonkers. The horn, kind of meek. There's wood treatment here. But this gear lever is so good now. It's like a gear position indicator. Let's start driving right away. Alright, let's turn on the car. Oh my goodness, what a heavy clutch. And there it rose to life. First things first, air conditioning off. We get into power mode. Where is the traction control button? There's no traction control in this car. Anyways, let's just turn on this touchscreen also. And then handbrake down. And oh my goodness, the clutch is really heavy. It's actually gone at the moment. Saying 6.3 kilometers per liter here. And audio test bhi ho gaya chalte chalte. So, okay, 6.3 kilometers per liter. It's saying on the MID. First and foremost, I would expect the Innova Petrol to be more refined, but it's not as refined as I would have expected it to be. And then the clutch travel is very less. I didn't even realize when the clutch engagement went off. Okay, a bouncy body on frame platform. Welcome to the world. And we're just going to stop here because it's time for the launch sequence. Into first gear, hazard light off, revving the motor, rev still. Oh my goodness, it revs all the way till almost 6,000 RPM. Listen to this. And off we go. No traction control. Rear wheel drive means you can spin it the way you like. And then near the red line, the gearbox was vibrating in first gear at least. So I expected this Toyota petrol engine to be much more refined. Now this is a 2.7 liter unit. It's a 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, produces 166 horsepower and 245 Newton meters of torque. The result is, oh my god, near the red line, the gear lever completely vibrates in like total disharmony and protest ki bhai itna mat khecho mujhe. Performance is actually very nice. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 11.5 seconds, which is actually half a second slower when compared to, you guessed it right, the diesel powered model, because diesel obviously has a lot more torque as such. And braking performance is fine. It doesn't weigh dramatically less. I think 50 kg is lesser than the diesel. The diesel is obviously very heavy, but this engine is also no less. And the overall car itself is very heavy. It weighs, I think, let me think about it, around 90 kgs. 1800 kgs is the weight of this car. So here, I'm going to get into a higher gear. It's a 5-speed gearbox. It's not, unfortunately, a 6-speed gearbox. And then when I leave it at higher gear at say around 50 kilometers per hour, you can see engine feels very relaxed around 1200 RPM. And then I get to full throttle. There's that drone which is coming, which is kind of unexpected. And then I realized I don't have the patience. So we're just going to downshift to third and pull it. Okay. So power delivery is very nice because it pulls from 1500 RPM all the way to slightly under 6000 RPM. I think 5900 RPM is where the red line lies for this engine. And the issue is that there is no issue as such because there's this linear pull throughout from lower RPMs all the way to higher RPMs. What a fantastic engine, but a gas guzzler. I mean, it drinks so much fuel. It has a 65 liter fuel tank, which it can smoke faster than you can blink. It will be gone in no time with this 6.3 kilometer per liter mileage. In the city, it could be a bit of a pain because, you know, initial get-go is not there, but it kind of starts moving very fast and then it becomes linear. The other issue is that the gearbox is not the smoothest shifting. The clutch is, I think the clutch is gone on this car, but it is on the heavier side. Now there's 6 variants of the Innova on offer, which is priced between 21 lakhs to 27 lakhs, depending on which variant you opt for, because there's manual and there is automatic, but unfortunately the manual is not available in top spec trim. That's the reason why the owner actually paid around 23-24 lakhs for this car. He bought it because he wanted to learn a manual car, and that is like a genius strategy of buying a petrol Innova manual because he wanted to learn on a manual car. And because he stays in Delhi, obviously he's so scared of NGT that he's like, no, I will get a petrol car only because I want to keep it beyond 10 years. Anyways, so power mode actually improves the performance. There are 3 modes. There's eco, there's power, and there's a normal regular drive mode. What it basically does is that it changes the map of the engine, and it doesn't make any difference to the steering wheel, which is a hydraulic unit, which is extremely heavy as such, and then the car feels very ponderous to drive. So in spite of the fact that the engine is fantastic and obviously it really nice pull in the mid-range and all that stuff, this is not a car you can drive it enthusiastically, because when you do now, you know that the issue happens to be that it just drinks fuel, more of it. So we're going to come to a quick halt because it's time for a nice aggressive launch to see if the car points the other way or not. And into first gear, hazard light off, revving the motor. Guys, are you noticing the gear lever? Just look at the gear lever right now, okay? Near the red line. No, don't do this to me. And the diesel actually costs 2.3 lakhs more, so you save 2.3 lakhs more by opting for the petrol, and then you manage to spend all those 2.3 lakhs in a day or two by filling fuel in this massively gas guzzling car. Yeah, it is a drinker, trust me. It loves petrol fuel, obviously. So yeah, ride is not the best as such, because obviously there's this continuous body on frame movement, but yes, kind of feels indestructible in that regard, which the Innova is, because rear wheel drive, body on frame, all those things come into picture, and being a Toyota is extremely reliable, cheap to maintain, and resale value is absolutely stellar. Although I honestly don't know what is the resale value of the petrol model, because yeah, I know diesel model resale is very nice, and in Delhi and maybe Northeast and Ladakh and all these regions, colder places, you get to see a lot of petrol Innovas and Fortuners. But probably they could have got the V6 model as well in India. Nobody would buy it, because I think sales for the petrol happen to be maybe 5% of the total sales of the Innova. And then obviously it's like a money spinner for Toyota, the Innova. They sell so many units. I don't know how much is the waiting period for the petrol model, because I don't know how many they produce, but they must be producing like really small quantity. Inventory management would be a pain for everyone, including the dealer, because who's going to buy a petrol Innova? Well, if you're in this region, you would, but I don't know how much the car has done. It's 24,000 kilometers. You know what? 24,000 kilometers has taken as much fuel that you could have probably bought another car as such. Jokes aside, turning radius is quite a bit as such, and then the signal is red. Now, because this is the low variant of the Innova, like they don't offer a manual in the top spectrum, thinking kaun kharidega, log auto hi kharidenge, or maybe to promote automatic, so that global warming happens at a faster pace, because the automatic will obviously drink more fuel. This is returning 6, so that should return 4 probably. But yeah, taking a U-turn can be a bit ponderous, but honestly this car needs for sure traction control system, because the rear wheels get really fast overwhelmed. Second gear it does 80 kilometers per hour, and the gear lever vibrates like crazy, like brrr. I mean, that doesn't look nice or sound good, but still you get the drift. That is another mechanism to tell you that you need to upshift. So that's a gear position indicator here on the gear lever, but it's more of a gesture operated one. Yeah, only thing is it doesn't redline as much as it should. Like below 6,000 RPM, it's like I'm done now, enough, let's go to the next gear. So guys, this is my vlog of the Toyota Innova petrol manual, and then we are going to take this bump to see that how much roly-poly we can happen, because there's a lot of rolling and all, and that's expected of a car which is not really meant to be driven hard and aggressively. Oh my god, taking a U-turn makes you want to go to the gym, or probably not, because you've already been there. Bye bye.